All right, good morning, everyone. This is the Rokani Media Football. Big game of football that's going to be played today at the Etihad Stadium. It's the Manchester Derby, and you know what this means. If at all you've been following football for some long time, for me, who has been supporting Man United for close to 2 decades plus, I've obviously gone ahead to come in through and really understand that this derby has never been easy. Even when United was really dominant, when City couldn't even be in the top 10 teams on the table, they could obviously make it hard for the club of Manchester United. That's how big this game of football has been throughout this throughout this Premier League that started in 1992. And we're here to obviously bring you what our thoughts are about this beautiful game of football on the side of City, because side of Manchester United has already gone ahead to be dealt with at the United Matters channel. Smash like button, comment and share. And I would like to dedicate this video to Hero, one of those City fans, and Lecturer is also a City fan. And fun enough, Lecturer told me that he wishes City loses this game, and I was like, oh my god, who really goes ahead to wish his team to obviously lose this game of football? Let's start it off with what Pep came up and really said. Pep is really having very many players out. Atli Noor is out, John Stones is out, Savinho is out. They're not having, I think even Kovacic a little bit is out, is doubtful. Then Jesco Vadio, I think, is also out. So he's really having close to 6-7 players that are really out, and they're not obviously going to be featuring into this encounter. But the big story is Donnarumma is obviously going to be making his debut today at Etihad. That is it. Though there are some people who have come out and said it might be one of those moments where he comes up with Trafford in goal and obviously lets the other guy do the needful. But if you've been losing 2 games consecutively, I don't see any reason as to why you come up and obviously not really start Donnarumma in goal. And the goalkeeper Trafford has always gone ahead to be part of the cause of some of the goals that have led City to obviously lose out into these encounters. So I think if you are if you're Pep Guardiola, there is no reason you give me that this guy doesn't start. And Manchester United doesn't have Lisandro Martinez. They don't have Matthias Cunha. Manchester United doesn't have Manchester doesn't have Mason Mount. Dalot is doubtful for the encounter today. So we are waiting to see what the game of football will bring and what decisions the managers will really take into this particular aspect. Now let's get into the probable starting 11 for the side of City, because they play a system of 4-3-3 that is known to everyone, and let's see how they will obviously look like in here onto the Rokani Media Football. And in goal, obviously, it's gonna be none other than Donnarumma. According to me, I see Donnarumma starting in goal for the side of Manchester City. Right back, I think it's gonna be Matheus Nunes, as for the vast majority of last season, he played as a right back, and I don't think that the manager will change him. And they never got in Livramento. Remember, City wanted to get in a right back in the names of Livramento. They missed out on him, and I don't see them really going in for anyone else apart from this other guy until the January transfer window, where I think they'll be fishing in for a very huge right back. Left back, or really, is one of those that you have to look at and really understand that City is really very serious, and they're really looking forward to see it that they really put in a very huge shift in there, because Atli Noor is out, and the latest news coming in through is that he's gonna be out for 3 to 4 weeks. So City really needed, by the way, a backup left back, and the likes of Jesco Vadio is also injured in there. But they do have some good news that Nathan Ake returns into the central defense to play with a man known as Ruben Diaz. And one will ask me out of Kusanov. Kusanov is one of those players that is really injured. So it shows you that, however much City is really having a very good squad, but they're really having very many injuries. And when we talked about this, you know, when Eric Ten Hag was here, as injuries were really a problem, people are like, no, a team can win without injuries, sorry, with injuries. And I'm like, when it has not obviously gone ahead to come to your side, that's when you'll come up and really defend it. But when it comes to your side, then you'll have to understand the bitterness of it and the effects. You understand? Because when you look at the side of City, they've been disturbed a lot by injuries, you know? And when you look at Arsenal last season, they missed out on a trophy because of injuries. That is it. So Rodri as the CDM, no doubts about it. I think Nico Gonzalez might not really get in into that position as the CDM because Rodri is back and has been playing very well. Again, for Spain, he has been playing most of the games off the bench, and Zubimendi has been playing ahead of him. So I see him really playing as a CDM alongside Riendas Tijani, right? One of the players that is really exceptional, and Bernardo Silva into that midfield. So that is the midfield three for the side of Man City, and I really anticipate that they'll obviously look like that as the side of City in that city into that Manchester derby, right? Then right forward, Oscar Bob is undroppable. He really looks good. I tell you, Oscar Bob is another player that you have to look at and really understand that he really puts in a very huge shift always. You understand? So when you look at the left forward, this is where Jeremy Doku comes in through. And who is leading the line? It's none other than Erling Haaland into the mix. Now, that is my probable starting 11. And my prediction is I see a draw written all over this game. That is it. I see a draw written all over this particular fixture. But if a win comes in through, it can go either sides. But for me, most realistically, I'm seeing a draw, right? I'm seeing a draw in this particular game, and I don't know what your thoughts are about this. Then there are battles that we're obviously going to be enjoying or really taking on Mbomo. Matthias Nunes going in for maybe a Bruno Fernandes will be featured into that space. Then Erling Haaland will have to face it off with Matthias de Ligt, you know. The midfield, I think on paper, the midfield of Man City is really better than the midfield of Manchester United, and I don't really expect United to win the midfield battle because the manager of Manchester United hasn't even gone ahead to sink in his mind that Kobe Mainoo has to be there into that midfield, and he wants to play with Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes in that double pivot, and I want to see what the results are really going to be for these for those picks that he's obviously going to be making. And remember, games of football really won and lost in the midfield. So we wait and see how that pans out. But the Premier League match day 4 has been really exciting. Chelsea went ahead to draw points. You understand? But we're here to wait and see how this pans out. But the game of Manchester United and Man City comes in through at 18:30 hours. You understand? That's when it's obviously going to be coming up into the mix to see to it that all really goes on well as planned. So guys, thank you very much for watching. It has been nice watching this beautiful video. Sorry, this beautiful channel. And please don't hesitate to really put in a very huge shift of really subscribing. First video of the day, and we've brought you this encounter of Manchester United and Man City. Your predictions are welcome. It's a 10-minute video, not long. Watch it and you will let me know what your thoughts are. My prediction is a 2-2 draw, but I don't know what you people think about it. But for me, that is my prediction. So what is your prediction too? You know? So If City wins, they go to 6 points. If Manchester United wins, they go to 7. And all of these teams really need this win because City wants to get out of the bottom half. You understand? And to get out of the bottom half, they have to beat their rivals who go by the names of Manchester United. I'm out.